again. I'm painting a little picture that I took at Lake Magori in St. Petersburg, Florida, right by Boyd Hill Nature Park. Beautiful there. These pictures, I tried every way possible to get over to this particular area, and there was no way to reach it. So I actually took these photos from my car. Even though I was out there walking around in the woods getting eaten by mosquitoes, and in fact took a bunch of pictures of the water, some very beautiful ones. But these particular ones far off in the distance, I had to take from my car. So here I am painting the sky, and I'm just making sure I get the whole thing blocked in. I'm going to let it dry a little bit overnight, and then I'll come back over this again tomorrow. But I want to get it started so that everything has little paint on it and the canvas is not so dry, absorbing the paint when I go in for my second layer. I don't usually do a lot of clouds in the sky, but this is just a big, beautiful Florida sky, and I wanted to do it. I love clouds. It's very tempting to just put a blue sky in and skip the clouds. Some people think it's very amateur to put the clouds in, but I think it's very hard to do clouds, and if you can do them, all the power to you. So these clouds have a lot more lighter layers that will go on top of them. I want to show the distance. This goes back very far, so there's a lot of atmospheric perspective. And once again, you have a beautiful light shining on the water. And I'm trying to get that effect of the light off in the distance and then coming a little bit forward on the water in the front. These are not the final colors, but the final colors will have these as a good base. So it really doesn't make that much difference the color you choose to start with. But I'm trying to get somewhere in the ballpark. Some sort of green, some sort of a blue-gray in the back there on the water. Some sort of a yellow undertone in the grasses on the right and in the branches of the trees, in the leaves of the trees. And of course, a beautiful blue in the sky with some lighter blue for the clouds. But I could have started the whole painting in burnt sienna if I had wanted to, and that would have been fine too. There's the sunshine in the back there, shining on the water. The tree, probably I could have started it with a little burnt sienna. There's a lot of golden undertones, but I'll put it all in there. I usually start with a tinted canvas, but today I decided to start with a white canvas because I really want that bright sunshine. Anyway, that's the majority of what I did today. It's pretty late at night. It's after 10 o'clock. We'll pick this up again in the morning. I changed these clouds later. I copied the same way they looked in my painting or in my photograph, which sometimes that's a great idea. I looked at them thoroughly beforehand and decided they looked good in the photo. So for that reason, I was going to make them the way they were. But after I was done painting them in, I did not like the way they looked. So at the very end of the painting, when I evaluated everything, I changed it and pulled them out. Clouds can make or break the painting. That's why lots of people don't like to put them in. But, you know, it's a risk, and so is everything. Got a little green in there, have to wipe that out. But I left this in for you to see so you could understand how you can make clouds. I use a nice big brush. Some people use a fan brush. Other people use a giant brush. I've tried all different ways. The bigger brush for me works the best. As usual, the cumulus clouds, the big puffy ones that make rain, are very, very common here in Florida where we rain a lot. Those big fluffy clouds get heavy, full of moisture. They get darker on the bottom. They have different colors in them, some pink, some yellow, some blue, even green sometimes, or gray. As they get closer to the land, they're smaller and narrower and cooler, believe it or not. I have a cerulean blue, or a little bit greener blue, right there at the water line, and a darker blue with a little bit more hue up on top. That's ultramarine blue. If you stare at the sky, you would be amazed at all the different colors that are in it. Same with the water. That's all I did on that day. I continued to develop the painting, a little bit at a time, a little here, a little there, never just one area completed. Some people do that, but I like to work on the whole painting at once. Here I've worked on a little bit more. And still more again. Here I'm working on the tree again. I have to decide just how much detail I want to put in this tree. It is the focal point, so I will put more detail in this than I will in some of the grass and some of the background. When the light hits the trees, it lightens the leaf on the tree. But directly where it hits is the lightest spot. So as the leaf bends, the light reflects strongly right there at that spot. These trees are full of green, live, beautiful leaves. And then there are some dead branches and some dead leaves as well. Of course, the center of the tree is the darkest. I will probably add 1 or 2 sky holes. There really weren't much in this tree. It's pretty full. And those funny little woody trunks of the tree have these little broken off branches that used to grow out of it. So those little stubby things are broken branches that protect the tree. It's kind of like the bark on the tree. Typical in so many places in Florida. Putting in a little bit of the back shoreline. Water is back there, but it's a little bit of a shore as well. So along with reminding myself to put a couple of sky holes in that tree, I want to remember to hit just a couple of little tiny white spots where you can see a few buildings back there. The clouds are reflecting in the water, so there's white patches. Up in the front as well, but you also have to see some of the blue for the white to look like a highlight, so you have to balance this out. Of course, in the front, the colors have to be the strongest. There's shadow under this tree, and we can see a little bit more of the grass. There should be warmer colors up front as well as more vibrant colors. This gives the illusion of depth in the painting, which is just an illusion. After all, we are painting on a two-dimensional surface. Of course, no one can say a sky is wrong because a sky is the way a sky is supposed to be. But in a painting, it can be wrong. I struggled with this sky, trying to decide it has to complement my center of interest, which is the tree and the light around the tree. I think I finally settled on a sky that I am happy with. So there's the finished painting. I'm going to put a tiny bit more shadow underneath that tree, and other than that, it's finished. And I'll show that final picture at the end of this video.